Hey guys, this is Anshka Gupta and welcome to my channel. Let's code and solve by Newton School. I hope you all been clear with the concepts of dictionaries and Python, its type methods in previous tutorial. Today we're gonna study about what are loops in Python. So before going to that, let's know what is Newton School. So Newton School is a platform which prepares you for career in tech. It has a courses designed for freshers, working professional, and also for women with non-tech background. Newton School first trains you for 6 months and that it helps you out to become an amazing full stack developer. And the best part is the Newton School has a pay after placement program under which you don't have to pay anything to Newton School until or unless you're being placed with minimum 5 lakh CTC. So here is the website of Newton School. Here the companies that you are being placed, they are Topper, Meesho, 7-Eleven, Motorola, then it are lot many. So here we're gonna log in it first. Here the Newton School has its own playground, that is the IDE. So let's move to know what are loops in Python. So moving forward, what are loops in loop structure and loops in Python? The loops are applications that is being used to happen the repetitive actions, that is for the summing numbers. That means the summing number is known as the average. Then entering multiple data entries, if suppose if I have to build an Excel sheet, so what I'll be doing it, I'll not be putting each and every data for a one, but I'll be putting the condition like this ranges to add it to this cell and that ranges to add it to that cell. That how the ranges are being defined by the looping. So prompting the user till the correct value is entering. Like suppose I have to enter only 5 values, so I'll be applying the loop till 5 only. After that it will not execute it. So it has a lot of method as a sequence, that is list, tuples, dictionaries and strings and other iterable objects also. So iterating as an like a putting a sequence is called the transversal iterating or the transversal looping. So the syntax, what are being using and how we use that are being defined while moving to the programs. So here is what are the like criteria, what are the types of looping in Python, that are while loop, do while and for loop. These while and do while, both of it is conditional loop, and the for loop is counter control. So the loops are always being run in the sets. It is not be run individually. Suppose a variable that takes the value of an item inside in each sequence. So it will be taking that each sequence as the last item of a sequence. That means that it has been separated by using code instructors. So the loops are always being similar to the conditionals, like they run and particular true false value set, that is a boolean set, or that are being said to be the instructed part. So when if the value, suppose I need an example, I am being given an example, I am being moving to purchase a packet of milk to my nearby shop. So what I'll be doing is I'll be uh, either going to buy my walk or buy the bicycle or any motorcycle or anything. So that depends upon me on which like what vehicle I want to choose, or I have to go to the foot. If I'm using see if the nearest shop, the shops are being at a long distance, obviously you will be taking the vehicle to that. So that how it means, like if it is been going through, it will not execute false, but if false, the end of the program has been done. That how the loops are actually being designed to run the particular length or the termination points. So there have been great techniques to use the loop structures that are to reuse the code. Obviously, if when you use the code, reuse the code, it has been given to the proper structure, and therefore there is a limit also of the particular statement that we need during putting any conditional arguments for the testing instead of forcing hundreds of in that. So now, how a program, how the loop has been instructed. So there is one the algorithm rules and the flowchart rules, how to do the like flowchart execution of programs. But loops are always being like having the iterations variables that can change each time through a loop, and often like the iteration variable also being using for the sequence of the number, that is not for the proper individual bytes. Okay, suppose there is one program being shown onto your screen to execute the number 5. Now, if the number, it will be executing a yes or no, but how it depends. Like, if it has been greater to 0, it will be coming to the execution point, but if not, it will be like no, but it will be printing the blast offs. So now what is while loop? So while loop is in a Python is used to iterate over a block of code as long as the test expression is true. So suppose if my operation expression or operations are being true, it will be operating me in the while loop. So we what where we use the while loop, that is being basically used to get the number of times to iterate it. So now comes to the for loop. So for loops give us particularly iteration point of the given sequence. In the while loop, it gives us a number of time, but in this, it gives a particular sequence to iterate. Okay, so variable that takes the value of the item inside the sequence on each iteration, and the loop continues until we reach the last item to some of the like execution point or some of the literal point we reach to. That how it will be executing at the proper indentations. And when we use the if else now for making the, obviously the loops are being using to get the decision making or to execute a decision only and only when we get to satisfy it. If I know like I'm being using while loop also, do while also, L if value also, if condition also, if else also, elif also. So I'll use until or unless as many of the loops until or unless my code is not satisfied or my condition is not satisfied at it. Okay. In the Python, the body of the statement is indicated by the indentation only. If the indentation has been wrong of the loops, it will not execute it. Okay. So Python only interprets the non-zero value as true or false. Okay, that none or not. Okay, now comes to the what is the if else statement. So moving to the if else statement, it evaluates the test expressions and will execute the body only or only if the test condition is true. So now the indentation will only false to the false value, and even to the body will execute the else. It will not go to if. Okay, if here is a syntax of if else. If my value, like if test expression, there is the body and then else, if the my condition gets satisfied here also, it will not execute the else part of it. Okay, if the true, okay, if false in the first statement only, it get false, it will execute the next value of else. Now comes with the what is if, elif, and else. Now we read about while loop. Then we go to the for loop, if else statement. Now comes to the if, elif, and else. Now what are these and how the syntax of these are being used? Okay, the elif is a short form of the else if. El is standard for the else, and if is being stand for the if. Together it can get a elif. Okay, so it allows us to check the multiple expressions if I am my satisfaction is not there with the if and else both. I'm being using the three of the multiple syntax to get my satisfaction of the code or get my the requirement of code to just solve the condition. Okay, so if the condition for if is false, it checks the condition of the next elif block and so on. If my program has been satisfied in this only, it will not execute to the prior. If not, like first is false, it will shift to elif. Then if in elif, if it is not satisfied, it will go to else part. Only and only it will be going to the block by block. It will execute the conditional problem, and it has a multiple elif blocks, not single part. Okay, so here is one of the syntax definitions of elif and else. So now, if the condition has been true, it will go to the body itself. Then it will execute similarly. But if the condition is false, it will go to elif block. Again, it will go to false or true. If the value is true, it will go to the value of elif. If not, again it will go to else. Then the similar structure will go to the endpoint. Okay, let's perform. I hope everything has been clear to you and you are being able to know what are the loops in Python. Now, what are like for if I'm being performing for the for loop, my simple of the syntax for this is this part only. Okay, this is only the syntax of it. Simple syntax of this. So now similarly, when we used to perform any other things, it is almost different to it. Okay, now let's print one of the structure for Python in loop. Now I'll print one of the list in that. Okay, I have to print the list of numbers. Now at the previous tutorials I told you how to print the list of numbers. First of all, just declare the number, what number is all about. Create a list. Suppose I have to create the numbers, that is 5, sorry, that is 5, 6, 5, 3, any number you can choose it. I'm just choosing randomly. 4, any of the numbers you can choose it. Okay, so if I give the variable a number to store a sum, okay, now I declare just the sum should be my 0. Like the list should be this, but my sum should be this. Now comes the iterations value of the list. Now if my for val and number, what it will be executing, it is numbers. Okay, there are multiple part. For on val and my sum should be sum plus val, that is variable. Now comes what to print. Now if I want to print the value, the sum is again sum. Okay, so now what it will be happening here, the program should be the Python in loop. Okay, the list of number is already been declared. Now I have to just get a variable to store a value. Okay, to store value. Now for loop for iterating. For this part, the sum should be 48 of all the numbers being mentioned over here. Okay, the output of the program will be varying according to the sum and the numbers of it. Okay, it is not like you have to get it or you have to print it or not. It will be automatically coming to you. So now what, let's write a program to iterate Your list. Okay, let me just clarify one of the like again a list to be made. Let's this time get up names of it. Let's get to the single only. It's difficult to put all and everything. Okay, let's give it to this and rock. Any name you can give. I'm just thinking what I can give. Jazz. Now comes how to iterate to the index. Now I'll write it for I in range len gener. Gener is my declaration. Now it's a for loop. It will give giving us the indentations part. Now I want to get it. I like what I like. I'm being doing the genuine purpose for the I part only. Okay, this how a purpose of the this has been done. So in addition to this, it will be giving us I like pop, I like rock, I like jazz. Okay, it has been giving the indentation to us. But similarly to the getting through. So now comes how to print for loop with else. Okay, suppose now. Okay, suppose I have to write program and let me now I have declared one of my digits, that is 1 comma 0 1 2 1 comma 5. Okay, now I have to just for I in digits I have to print I. Okay, now come if this condition doesn't suits, else print no item filter. No item. Okay. For digits I have clear, but if the I is being there and the condition is not satisfied, it will give me the value. Now comes that I is there. Okay, and my satisfaction is also there of the condition for and else. It will be executing for the 0 1 2 digits are being presented, and the else part also be done. Okay, here the loop prints of the list until or unless it exhausts out. So when the loop exhausts, it executes the back of the code, that is the else, and print the no item left. For statement can be used for the break keyword also. Okay, that how a particular statement is being performed until or unless it has been given to that. I hope this has been clear to you how to use the loop, how to structure it, how to add a sequence in that for the ranging part. Okay, so thank you. Subscribe to my channel and stay updated.